Hello YouTube, Time Itself here, and this commentary isn't quite as much about the gameplay, rather I want to talk about something that I'm noticing in the Black Ops community. It's something that we saw in the Modern Warfare 2 community, but here it seems to be worse, or at least it's causing more problems. And the problem is just how often people are leaving games early. I don't have a problem with people who have to go do something else, but leaving a game just to go play another game seems kind of silly, and it's becoming a problem in the community. I'd have to guess that the majority of the games I finish, there are 3 or fewer players on the other team, and it's just not any fun when it's going like that. Now, in Modern Warfare 2, the game was reasonably good about joining more players in, so that you could have a somewhat normal end to the game, even if the people who joined late didn't have a very good time. But I'm not sure about Black Ops, as it doesn't join people to games in progress very often. Again, that's why I keep finishing games with 3 or fewer players on the other team. As I really don't like to upload games where that happens, it takes a serious toll on the number of games I have available that I might want to commentate on. Now, in almost every discussion about leaving games that I've read or heard, there seems to be this constant argument of, well, I joined a game in progress and it sucks, like this game here, and I don't want to take a loss for it or have it affect my stats. Well, I have to tell you, that's not the central issue. I hate joining these kinds of games in progress as much as the next guy. And I honestly really don't have anything against the other team we're playing against right now. No, the people I have a problem with are the ones whose names I'm never going to get, and they're the people who were in this game before us, who left and opened up the slots so that we could join the game in progress. You may have noticed when the 4 of us joined this game, we were the only 4 on this team. In other words, the game was counting down to forfeit for the other team, and it put us in it. It just is mind-bogglingly stupid. That shouldn't happen even because, okay, alright. I'm not going to rant about this. So what do I see as the motivating factors for people leaving games? Well, I think the new contract system actually plays a large role in that. And while you lose your progress and lose the time that you spent in-game for the contract, if you leave early, you go get to work on your contract in another game against another team. And if the team you're playing against now is kicking your ass, you might not make a lot of progress on that contract, and so you're better off just going to another game. It makes sense from that standpoint. On the other side, if you're down to only a few people on the other team, there are fewer kills to go around. So if you're working on one of those 75 kills in 40-minute challenges, you're going to have a hard time doing that. If you're in a game of domination like that, you go ahead and grab all the points and try to finish the game as fast as possible, but you're still going to spend a certain amount of time in that game not getting as many kills as you'd like. And I've lost contracts like that just because there aren't enough people to kill. So let me go ahead and add an exception to my comment about not liking people leaving games. If you were the last person left in a game, go ahead and leave so that everybody can go do something else. Otherwise, if you're not doing well, you're getting angry, and just generally sucking in the game you're currently in, and you just leave and go find another game, chances are it's going to be the same way in the next game. Figure out what you need to do to make things better in the game you're in, and then worry about the next one. If you're getting frustrated, figure out what to do about it, calm down, or just if you gotta leave, go ahead and stop playing for a while. I know this campaign is especially bad for me. If I get really angry at the game, I don't play well, and I'm better off just putting the controller down and going somewhere else for a while. It'd be nice if people just stopped leaving games, but that's not going to happen. I'm realistic about it. So Treyarch needs to do something to discourage it. You already lose your match bonus, your time on your contracts, and your progress, but I think they need to take it a step further. First off, if you're the host, they need to keep track of how often you actually finish games. People who don't finish games very often shouldn't get host. I know that the majority of the losses I get when playing with my team from the host being on the other team and dashboarding or turning off their Xbox before the game is over, and it's stupid. So don't make those people host. Second, the normal players in the game, if they don't finish very often, frequently, they need to be penalized somehow in the game. Halo Reach took a pretty extreme approach and prevented you from entering matchmaking for I think it was 15 minutes after you left a game. Well, again, a little extreme, but that's the kind of thing that we need. If you don't finish a certain number of games for everyone that you leave early, you probably shouldn't be able to enter matchmaking for a while. As for some more nuanced parts of this, I would prefer that matchmaking join you back into the game that you just left, if at all possible. and of course on the same team you were on. Or maybe you couldn't re-enter matchmaking except to rejoin the game you had been in, unless the game you had been in was over. I think that'd work out pretty well. But to reiterate, the conversations I read about joining games in progress deal with what to do with people who have joined. Don't count us as a loss, give them a certain amount of time to back out, and doesn't address the root problem at all in that the slots were opened in the first place. And if we can address that issue, I think things will work out a lot better. Now, I don't normally go to game chat to taunt people after the game, but in this case, I think it was important to make an exception. And I'll also have you know that these guys, they didn't stick around for all of the next game either. So, yeah, more quitters. So, that was a pretty good comeback, and I have to thank you for listening to my rant. And have a nice day.